Well, hello. Happy Wednesday. My angle got weird. As soon as it hit the live part, like everything got off. Weird. Okay, hi. Let's get ready. How are you today? How is Wednesday? It is windy as windy can be here. It started being windy yesterday, and it's that person. Okay. Anyway, I face the front, so I'm all nosy. Nosy neighbor. Windy yesterday, but it also blew in a cold front. So yesterday it was like 84, right? Like I had on a short sleeve shirt. Today the high might hit 60. So I'm back to sweatshirts, and most of my winter is packed. So you get to see this shirt again because I love this shirt. I'm gonna start with my Prime Set powder. I'm using this as my primer today because I'm gonna use powder foundation today. And I do want a primer on, but I don't want our illuminating primer underneath my powder. I know. I just want the matteness of the powder, and if I use illuminating primer, I'm going to be illuminated underneath my matte foundation. So there's that. There's method to my madness. So I use a powder duo. I use my main shade for all over my face, and I use a lighter shade as like a concealer. So a little bit under my eyes. I feel like I am blessed with not having horrible under eyes. That's what happens when you actually start taking care of your skin when you're younger, so that by the time you're after 50, you've already got some nourishing going on in there. So it's never too late to start. Start where you are. So I'm going to come in with my normal shade, and I am going to put that sort of all over the outside. I'm sort of going to avoid my T-zone, especially under my eyes, right? And I'm going to do the lighter shade there. And I love our powder. I will say, out of all the foundation types we have, our powder is the most limited. So I almost hate to show it to you because if you love it, some shades are very, very limited. I had a customer who loves our powder, and she wanted the foundation bundle this month, but her shade is sold out. So she went with a different style of foundation. She's like, when does it come back? And I'm like, I have a watch list of when things come back, and I'm like, a couple months, I'll have to get back to you. Like, it's going to be after the sale's over, which really sucks. But, you know, I don't manufacture the products myself, so I can't really tell you. But if you like a powder foundation, I love ours. It is almost I don't want to say it's creamy because it's not. It's definitely a powder sensation, but it's not dripping powder all down my shirt, right? So I love that about it. It is, they say it's our most maximum coverage foundation. I would beg to differ. I think our Serum Plus has more coverage. But it's kind of like with all the others. It's very buildable, right? I could put a thin layer and be done. Like all my redness is covered, you know, like right here where I'm always red. Or I could continue to put more on in the places that I need more. I don't need more. I feel like I'm as neutral as I want to be before I start building up with my bronzer. So we'll just move on with that. But that is an option in the foundation bundle. So you get your brush, you get your powder, you get your Prime Set powder, and then you will get a concealer. So I just used a different powder as my concealer because I'm not a huge concealer wearer. I am if we're doing a night out, but for a day-to-day wear, I'm not really putting concealer on every day. I'll just be honest. Now, do I want it in my stash? Absolutely, because there are occasions when you want concealer. But day-to-day use, no, not for me. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm a very natural makeup wearer. I just want to enhance what I look like. I do not want to make myself into something I'm not. So that is me. All right, so we've got some weirdness going on outside. So because of the wind, we have all of these trees around the pool outside, which I bless whoever owned this home before us. We're only the second owners of our home. So I just really praise them for what they did in landscaping and all the things. But we have these amazing trees everywhere. We have like one of the biggest red oaks out front. We've got all of these like 2 huge magnolias and these other random trees out back. But with all of this wind and this up and down seasonal weather, all of our trees are starting to bud again, right? And then if they have any leaves on, those are going because they're going. So we have been every evening outside, getting stuff out of the pool. We have a gentleman that comes every Wednesday to take care of our pool and the chemicals and all the things, which we kept him on from the previous owners when we bought the house, because I'm like, you know the pool. And we love him. He's been amazing. But he will even say when he's here, because I'll be like, I really did try to keep up on the leaves. And he'll go like this to his hand and he'll be like, yeah, but you have all this. And I'm like, I know. Blessing, curse, right? So last night, because we knew he was coming today, my husband's like, we have to at least look like we've tried with the pool, which we've been out almost every evening. Like, he's been brushing stuff, because we have some tree that's putting out these little, tiny little stems almost. And I used to know what the tree name was. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, and it's clogging up this one filter, which makes our pool vac not run. So every evening, my husband's been like unclogging the filter and then like sweeping stuff down so that the vacuum can run and pick it all up. And I've been going out 2 and 3 times a day, cleaning out the vacuum basket thingies, the 2 little skimmer basket things, because they fill up with leaves and then everything doesn't run the same. I mean, pools are a commitment, let me just say, which I don't mind, but you know, we knew that coming into it. And I had a pool growing up, so I sort of knew the deal. A little different when it's your responsibility, not your parents. But anyway, but last night when my husband's outside, he's like, oh my gosh. So these ducks graze the top of his head and we're going to try to land in our pool. And it's the season when we've got a couple of mallard ducks that are in the neighborhood and they try and find a place for mama to lay her babies. And if you followed along, when we were at the condo before we moved here, this was back during COVID, no one was using the shared pool in the condo because we weren't supposed to be around people, right? So the most I saw someone was outside my back door, because my back door and someone else's back door were like, we shared the same stairwell, right? They were the only couple like we saw. We shared laundry, all the things. Well, anyway, all right. So these ducks land in the pool during COVID and no one's out there to like shoo them away. And the next thing I know, they have laid ducklings in the bushes next to the pool. Well, when you live in a shared building, you get to share opinions. And so there was several of us that are like, those things have to go. Well, there's also several, and granted, there's only like 24 people in this condo. Some people that wanted that we need to protect the ducks. I'm like, oh, good heavens. So protect the ducks worked. We didn't touch the ducks. The ducks got to inhabit the pool. The pool turned this horrid green color. Horrid. So fast forward next summer, they're still hanging out. I think maybe it was later that fall. I don't know. It was forever. We get some game warden person to come out and relocate the ducks, right? Because some of the ducklings had died because the way our condo was, they couldn't fly out. So anyway, it was just this ordeal. So we got them rehomed or whatever. Then we had to spend the money, because we all had to pay the dues, to drain, clean, and then refill the pool. That was how bad it was. It was horrible. I mean, just disgusting. So having lived through that, and it stunk. Oh, you just walked in the courtyard. It just smelled so bad. So having lived through that, the first summer we lived here, the first full summer, we moved in the end of July, or beginning of August, I guess. We closed the end of July. Moved in August. And the next summer, so our first full summer, I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, oh, those are ducks in the pool. So, and it's normally 2 mallards and a girl duck, right? The mallards are the boy ducks. I'm learning things. And the mallards are beautiful, beautiful. But I know what they're doing, and they're scouting for where these ladies can lay their eggs. And I'm like, you are not laying your eggs on my bushes. I'm not having it. So that summer, I would go run outside, and I look like a crazy woman. I'm outside going, get out of my pool, get out of my pool. I'm like, come on, here we go. So fast forward, today, I go put my lunch plate up in the kitchen, which I can see out to my pool, and I'm like, there's ducks in my pool. I go, run outside. Well, this time there is one mallard and one female. And I'm like, oh, she's ready to lay her stuff. And that's what they're doing, is looking for the place where she can hop out. And I'm like, good heavens, no. So I go run outside. I run right up to the edge of the pool, and I'm, get out of my pool. And I'm yelling. They look at me like I'm a crazy woman, and they don't even move. They just spin around, turn. I'm like, oh, heavens, no. So we keep this one pole that, like, you put a brush on and you can, brush things out or whatever. So I take the pole and I'm like slapping the top of the water, not near the ducks. Like, I'm not going to hurt the ducks. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want them in my property. So they're like on this end of the pool and I'm over here and I'm slapping the water. Finally, that gets their attention and they fly out. But now, I swear, between the time I did that and I got on here with y'all, I have walked over there to look outside like 4 different times because I just know they're going to land again. I'm hoping one little, like, what do you call it? Explosion by me where I scare them out will deter them for the rest of the day. But I don't know that. And until I can prove that if I can hurt them, not hurt them, if I can scare them once, maybe they won't come back again. I don't know. If you've ever had this experience, let me know. It is just crazy. I do not want them to find happiness in our pool. All right, so I'm going to use this palette. Haven't used it in a little bit. You can tell my favorites. I got the little, working it out. But that's a sign of a good palette when you use all the things. Anyway, your keyword is Wednesday, if I can help you with anything, and comment replay if you're watching live, if you're still on here live with me. Kind of got off on my tangent story, but holy cow, I'm like, this really sucks. And I can't see the pool from my study where I sit at my computer and help out with things. So I'm like, which I do have a laptop. So I'm like, I think I'm going to move my laptop into the dining room and sit there because I can see the pool from my dining room. And I'm like, well, at least then I could see if they landed and be like, oh my gosh, I'm up. It's just, you just have to live through the tragedy once. And then you're like, yeah, I'm not having this. Not pretty, just a little bit of shimmer kind of in the inner corners. Then we're going to come down with this one. This is just such an easy palette. So many neutrals that go together. A couple of pops of color. And I love how this palette was curated because it is tic-tac-toe. So these three go together. This one I use in almost everything as like my brow bone. But you could go across this row. You could go up and down. You could go diagonal. I just did these two colors and then this on my brow bone. It's just beautiful. Such a subtle pink, right? Because I don't like harsh colors. I don't know. I'm all about the neutrals. All right, we're going to come in with our eyeliner. We're going to get that on. I don't know how long it takes for a duck, like if they land and she gets out, how long does it take for her to deposit all her things? I don't know. My hands are shaking, being contorted. I don't know why that eye is such a problem. It doesn't look bad when I look up. It looks fine. I don't know, maybe I need to research. How long do, I don't care how long they take to be born. I just want to know how long it takes her to drop them. Drop the eggs or whatever. Because if she only has to be there like 10 or 15 minutes, like I don't know if she has to like sit with them. Again, I don't know. I just don't want her to be comfy. So it's what makes me feel like I need to like watch over the place so that they don't sit there for a bit. We tried all the things. Was it last summer or the first summer? I don't know. We tried an alligator head. They would land right next to it. Like, they're no dummies. They knew. We tried big balls with like eyes on them. They'd land right next to them. Which I couldn't do a ball today because it would just blow out of the pool. But anyway, I just don't know that there's any hope except for to just pay attention. But then, like, what do people do that don't work from home? Like, I'm here. I can walk outside and throw a fit. What does my neighbor do? You know, this side of me, he doesn't work from home. He's got a pool. Maybe they can like his yard. Not that I wish that upon him. But, like, how do you do that if you're not at the house in order to walk outside and be like, hello, move on. Get out of my pool. It is crazy, though. My lashes are getting so long. Look at that. You know, that eyeliner that has the growth serum in it, and then using my Quadra, which has growth serum in it, I'm double dutying on my eyelashes, and it is working out as a beauty. I love it. I'm going with my favorite lip. I did this lip yesterday, and to me, it goes so well with any skin tone, but this eyeshadow palette especially. Gorgeous Mauve. A little bit of Mented. And a little bit of lip gloss. So if you don't have very big lips, add a little bit of shine. It'll help make your lips look fuller. Not pretty? All right, I think that's gonna do it for today. I'm gonna go check on my pool and make sure ducks aren't in my pool. So if I can help you with anything, you're gonna comment Wednesday. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye.